Okay. Let me change screens.
Identify me.
You turn the volume up.
So make sure you mute yourselves. If I end up muting you, please don't be offended. If you need to say something, just unmute yourself. Janice, could you please help Willette get in? Maybe send her a link.
Okay.
Thank you. She's locked out, it looks like, for some reason. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, this is the December 5th, 2021 Justice Coalition organizing and education meeting. I always like to give thanks to Brother Cody Mazzarella, an activist in the area who lets us use his premium Zoom account. What is revolutionary unionism? It is something inspired by the industrial workers of the world, a phrase that pretty much means to take power from our employer and the politicians through direct action at work and democratically control our unions. By doing so, we can dismantle the service and transactional model of business unionism, which has neutralized our power for over 50 years. We have an emergency action call. Many of you are aware one of our co-workers was brutally assaulted downtown last night, happened to be a bus operator. Whatever the reason was that he was assaulted, it doesn't make a difference. This has to stop. We're not only being assaulted by people that have who are lost souls, but who need help or and need to find other ways of utilizing their time, and maybe society hasn't let them do it, but we are being assaulted every day with contract violations and seniority violations, PIC violations, safety violations. And it is time for everyone who's on this call, when you are off the clock, 10 minutes before you go to work or 10 minutes after you go to work, bring a sign, a piece of paper, something, write something on it, of something that's passionate to you about how you're being violated. We need to inspire our coworkers to stand up and speak up. So every day of the week at the Justice Coalition, we're encouraging everyone, for 10 minutes a day, stand outside your terminal, your garage, or your shop on a shared public-private thoroughfare. Don't block any traffic. Hold up a sign expressing your thoughts about your working conditions. If you can, also next Saturday, this coming Saturday, we're going to have a protest at Harlem Lake at 11 a.m. All right. What are we protesting about? All these things. So you bring a sign, you protest about what you want to protest. We're not going to censor anyone. You want to use profanity, you go ahead. But you know, you want to put something religious out there, whatever floats your boat. We're not going to control what you say. Let's go to the history lesson. So this history lesson it's recent. It's from December 2019. In a complete sellout of an almost 2-month-old strike, the Amalgamated Transit Union agreed to send 130 striking bus employees of the multinational transportation company Transdev back to work without an agreement. The striking workers operate bus lines of the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority in Northern Virginia out of the Cinderbed Road garage. Cinderbed Road represents the only segment of WMATA's rail and bus system that is privatized. The ATU sellout comes directly on the heels of the union forcing another 600 transit workers back to work on December 8th, also without an agreement. After a 4-day strike, The second strike involved employees who operate and maintain the buses at Fairfax Connector System, which also are employed by TransDev. Fairfax Connector, WMATA, and interconnected transit systems as many conductor buses feed into WMATA lines. In December 8th, Facebook, quote, bargaining update video announcing the end of the Fairfax Connector strike, the ATU acknowledged that it was ordering members back to work despite no agreement on the basic issues. Okay, I hear someone saying that the audio is really low. Hopefully I can fix that at the moment. Sorry. Input. All right, we're going to try. I'm going to increase the gain there. All right, so the back to work agreement on most of the, it was ordering its member back to work despite no agreement on the most basic issues, including wages, vacation, sick leave, or retirement, all things that cost money, the key things in the contract that people care about. The ATU video further revealed the complete subordination of the unions to the Democratic Party. The ATU hailed as a big development and one of the primary reasons for calling off the strike, the fact that Fairfax County Board Supervisor Chair, Democrat, Jeff McKay, had called on the union and company to call off the strike and meet with him the next day. Throughout the two strikes, the ATU refused to call out its 7,500 members who worked directly for WMATA, leaving the vast majority of the Washington area public transportation system fully operational, and leaving the striking cinderbed workers completely isolated. The results of this isolation are clear. The ATU dragged out the cinderbed road strike not to win a decent contract for the transport workers, but to wear workers down. The WMATA TransDev employees are paid on average $12 an hour less than drivers employed by WMATA. The TransDev employees also face $6,000 health care deductibles for individuals and $12,000 for families, while Metrobus workers have none. The TransDev employees also have no defined benefit pension, in contrast with Metrobus workers. Further, the TransDev employees were seeking wage and benefit parity with Metrobus workers. The sellout of the Cinderbed Road strike comes as the ATU reached an agreement on a 4-year contract for its WMATA members. As part of that agreement, to take effect July 1st, 2020, WMATA agreed not to further privatize rail lines or bus lines. WMATA also agreed that it would return the work currently contracted to TransDev at Cinderbed Road back into its direct control after the termination of the WMATA TransDev contract, but no later than January 1st of 2022. In a separate Cinderbed Road transition agreement between the ATU and WMATA, which will not become effective until the termination of the WMATA TransDev agreement, current TransDev employees working at Cinderbed Road must apply for employment with WMATA in order to continue working the same exact job. Furthermore, in order to catch up on its lost pension benefits while employed by TransDev, the employees will have the option to buy back prior years of service by increasing required employee contributions to the pension plan by an additional 3% of pay until such time the cost is met. In the meantime, for the next 2 years, and we're in that 2-year cycle right now because this happened in 2019, the Cinderbed Road employees will continue to operate at the mercy of TransDev. In another Facebook post, the ATU said it agreed to return the strikers to work only if and when the TransDev provides assurances that no workers will be harassed or retaliated against for exercising their right to strike. We also want assurances that TransDev will actually bargain in good faith. In an empty threat, the statement added, we are also fully willing to walk back out if TransDev continues to waste time, stall, and delay at the bargaining table with insulting offers. In reality, the ATU has used 130 Cinderbed workers as a bargaining chip in its maneuvers with WMATA over privatization. A striking Cinderbed Road worker told the Workers' Socialist World something, I forget this source here, but that's what this came from. The ATU is gambling with us workers. The union should be doing what the workers want instead of signing an agreement without our consent. Regarding the supposed promise that the ATU extracted from Transdev that it would not punish workers who had been on strike, the worker stated, "That's our right anyway. We had the right to be on strike." Expressing disgust at the ATU's order to return to work, the worker added, "The majority of drivers don't even want to continue working if this is the way things are going." The ATU stab in the back to Transdev workers is the only betrayal of transit, is the latest betrayal of transit workers. In New York City, the TWU recently agreed to a sellout deal for 38,000 MTA workers who had been working without a contract for 6 months. The new TWU contract, if approved by the membership, will lead to an unprecedented expansion of outsourcing, along with the tax on healthcare and paltry raises that do not keep up with inflation. And then the pandemic hit, and lo and behold, what had happened in New York City? They got filled with contractors to clean the stations. Check that out. Okay, so we just read some history. Anyone has any comments about what I just read that happened in 2019? And any thoughts that come to mind? Everyone who wants to speak, give yourself about 2 or 3 minutes. Unmute yourself, please.
Oh, why am I oh shit.
Hello.
Hello.
Nicole, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I have something. This kind of reminds me of what's going on in our union right now. Actually, it seems like we're getting the same kind of treatment here. No one, they're bargaining without us, making decisions without us, and it kind of reflects the same thing that happened back then in 2019.
Yeah, it's something, isn't it? And they always tell us, "Oh, we're taking care of things. Trust us, believe in us, be loyal to us."
No, we need loyalty to us. And it's just, every day it's getting more difficult. And it just seems like history is repeating itself from this lesson into where we at right now. It just seems like history is repeating itself. And the members are the ones that's losing out altogether.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else want to comment about this? All right. So I wanted to add too that this is our own union, everybody. We're local 308, local 241. This is a different local in ATU. So it's really important to understand that we need to democratically control our union, even at the international level. We need to elect these, who are these people in the international, making decisions for the workers, and then pitting a small bargaining unit within WMATA against a bigger one. That happens, right? We have local 308 was smaller, local 241. And they do that kind of thing all the time. And then one blames the other. Well, this and that. It's really sad. It's really sad. Okay, let's go to the organizing lesson. So we've been reading from Secrets of a Successful Organizer, and that's what you are. Everyone here on this call, you're an organizer, whether you're active doing it or not. You're coming into it, and you're part of something, and you are you deserve to know more, and so that's what we're trying to do. So let's go to page 46 and 47. If you want to know about the previous ones, just go to the links in the agenda. Also, we have recordings of previous meetings. This is number 11. Move people. People move little by little. Remember the bullseye chart from lesson 1. Now that's this right here. Let me see. Hopefully can y'all see the screen? What I'm reading?
I can see the screen, Eric.
Okay, thank you. So here's the bullseye from lesson 1. This is how organizing generally works, okay? Let's think of not things as a top down, but let's think of things as bottom up, all right? We're not here to be bosses of our coworkers. We're here to help our coworkers take initiative and be the change that they desire. But when you do that, you got to realize that it's like a bullseye here. So you have the core people. It's usually just a few people that are really hyped up and they're always working on stuff on their time off and everything, And you have the activists to support the core. And you have the supporters that are like, yeah, whatever, let's just do something, and they go along, you know, and they participate. And then you have the disengaged who really don't care either way what happens. And then you have those that are hostile and they want to destroy what you're doing. But what we want to do is we want to always try to bring people little by little from the outer rings to the inner rings. So that's how we want to engage with them. So if you're not trying to move someone from disengaged to organizer in one conversation, you're not trying. Don't try to think like that, right? You're not trying to move someone from disengaged to organizer in one conversation, but maybe from disengaged to supportive, or from supportive to active, or from active to part of the core group. Slow and steady wins the race. I mean, this takes a long time, y'all, but if we are persistent and consistent with what we do, it does work. I bear witness, it really works. There's one major exception to this rule. When people are in a high stakes fight where they're forced into action against a powerful enemy, it can change their thinking overnight. But most times, you will make better progress and be less prone to disappointment if you expect people to dip their toes in gradually. Remember that. Think about that. A lot of people say, everyone's got to be in or it's not going to work. No, you're wrong. And this is why. Don't give up on people because of one no. Well, I got a hand up there. Go ahead, Eric Struck.
Hey, yeah, I think this is actually a really, really good formula, and it's not just Brother Eric that's bringing this up. There's multiple sources and multiple groups that have conceived of things like this. You know, this is there's an organizing concept called building the militant minority, and basically, if you're on this call, you're probably part of the militant minority, man, and those are the people that we gotta talk to, you know. And like Brother Eric said, you can't win over everybody in a day or in a single conversation. That's absolutely true. You know, there's another formula that I think works real well, and that's it's from the old historical figure. This dude, he said, unite the advanced, win over the intermediate, and isolate the backwards. And that's a really good way of thinking about it, because you know the people who are involved, the people who want to study up on this, again, most of the people who are in on this call, those are people you can regard as the advanced because they're thinking about these issues, they want to do something about them. The intermediate is, you know, it's a lot like the bullseye he was showing us. The intermediate is the people who realize that there's a problem, but they might not be clear on exactly what to do about it. So they're interested in hearing from us, interested in hearing our ideas, and they'll listen to us. And then the backwards are the people that he mentioned on his chart. It's the people that are labeled hostile. Those are the people, and that includes management, that's trying to block us and is actively hostile to us and does not have our best interests in mind. You know what I mean? So we try to unite. The sort of attitude that we take towards the advanced is that we try to unite them on a program of action. You know, what we try to do with the intermediate is we try to win them over, because there's always going to be things that people disagree with us about, and sometimes that's not super important. You know what I mean? And we can you know, win people over on the stuff that they do agree with us about. You know, but the thing about the backwards is they have to be isolated. You know what I mean? Like the Trump supporters, is it no use even talking to them. You know what I mean? Because you already know what they're about. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is a really good method.
Thank you, thank you. I would have to say though, just a little thing about that Trump part is we actually do have quite a few coworkers that support him, but they also support what we do. You know what I mean? They're actually, some are part of the coalition. But you know, Eric, I think maybe for another topic, another day, that there's some interesting historical things regarding that issue. Maybe we could get into it another time. What do you think?
Sure.
But thank you very much, Eric. So that's the key. Like Eric put out, you know, we don't want to give up on people necessarily because of they just say no one time, right? they may warm up over time. And I've found that, like when I go to Howard Terminal sometimes, you know, there's some people that hate my guts, but like they really hated my guts a year ago. You could tell they hate my guts a little less now because oh, here he is again with another flyer, you know. So that's something to think about. There may be things they're willing to do that neither of you has even thought of yet. So when you have your mind open to these things and other people, you can get that over to them. Almost done here. Here's an example of one step at a time. Organizer Paul Cribile remembers talking to a medical technologist at Los Angeles County Hospital who complained that the union didn't do much. Cribile asked him to sign a petition about a workplace problem. Sound familiar, everybody? What's the point? The guy said. It won't do any good. Cribile explained that the petition alone wasn't expected to fix the problem, but it was part of a long-term campaign. If the petition didn't get results, the stewards were planning to attach it to a group grievance. Next, they would get as many people as possible to attend the grievance meeting, speak out. The technologist signed the petition. Sure enough, even after 70% of the workers signed, management refused to fix the problem. So the union filed a group grievance. The next time Cribile saw him, the medical technologist was more interested. He asked if the grievance meeting had been set yet, and he brought up a complaint that he and others had on another issue. Just a little bit of participation had begun to change his perspective. All right, so here's another thing that we need to try to change, right? Is instead of approaching grievances with the attitude of, okay, here's a problem, let's grieve it, right? Here's an issue, let's grieve it. Let's work around the grievance to organize action. And I bring this up at meetings quite a lot at Local 308, and they hate it because I'm like, well, we had this problem before. Why don't we do some actions about it? Why don't we protest? Oh, we already tried. We're right now, we're just dealing with the grievances. We can't tell the CTA what to do. You know, that's all crap. You can still do it, right? You can still do things. You can still organize. So don't let no get in the way of organizing. Any comments about what I just read? Anybody, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I wanted to just back up that, you know, this is 100% how we approach this in the IWW model too, where we have basically the same target thing. We have assessments on a number scale of 1 to 5 based on your level of trust and commitment to the process. And if you can bring people from a level 4 to a 3, then you can bring them to a 2, then you can bring them to a 1. It takes a lot of time, and that's a lot of the work of organizing, is finding out, you know, what are the things that your coworkers are facing problems with in the workforce, in the workplace. What are their specific problems with it? How can you teach them that this is how we can solve those problems and bring them on board?
Hey, thank you, Dante. Thank you. And Dante is one of our guests from the International Workers of the World. And we're going to have a little more engagement with him and Kate a little bit later. Anybody else have any comments, any ideas, any thoughts that come to mind? Okay. And if something comes up later, you know, just unmute yourself and we'll see what we can squeeze in. In the chat, Kate says, politics and organizing are different beasts too. Many conservative unionists who might surprise you. Yeah, that rhymes. You're a poet and you don't even know it, Kate. All right. If I get out of hand, people just declare me as out of order. That's what they do at the union meeting all the time.
Eric, you out of order.
Oh, but okay. See you later. I'll come back. I'm not gonna be like Keith Hill and just keep walking out of the meetings when you piss me off, Nicole.
Eric, you out of order.
I'm out of order again. What? All right. Well, at least I have a lavish lifestyle badge. You don't. You're out of order.
Eric, you're out of order.
Okay, I'll stop. Okay, next topic. I'm working on my stand-up comedy routine, y'all. No, seriously, I am though. Okay, so let's briefly in the agenda, I just want to remind you all, we got a website, chicagotransitworker.com. At that website, you can reach our YouTube channel. We got videos. A pile of papers just fell. I hope I don't need those papers for this meeting. We have a public Facebook page. And we also, on the agenda, we have a link, and I'll post the link for it. It's called, it's for the a workers' contract. This is a Justice Coalition member created contract. We are making an alternative contract to what the ATU official leadership are coming up with the lawyers. It's really just fantastic. Quick look at it right here, just to let you know when you get to it. You can put comments on it. It's completely public. We are taking a hatchet to the part-time, perpetual part-time jobs, full-time temporary, second chance, part-time temporary, all them jobs. We're just doing what the leadership refuses to do. What we're doing is making a contract that the members want, not a contract that our employer and the mayor will accept. And that's a real key thing in a fight, don't fight for things that people will accept, that your opponent will accept. Fight for things you want. That's why everyone will have a stake in your success and your failures. Local membership, local 308 membership meeting report. It's also on the agenda. I'll pop that in the chat. I did an unofficial report on the local 308 membership meeting. If you're in the local or just interested, check it out. We're working on a bowling party. That's right. We're all working on getting strikes. We want to strike at the bowling alley. Yep, that's what we want to do.
Strike at the bowling alley. Strike.
You got it. That's what we're gonna be the strike force, and we're gonna be bowling. So we got a little committee together, and we got our brother Cole, sister Jan, and maybe if you're interested in helping them out, Cole or Jan, you want to update for us?
Yeah. So I just wanted to follow up with that. Let's see here. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Yeah. So we don't know how to expect how many people. We're assuming maybe 15 to 20 people we could get to come down there. We're hoping maybe the 11th. That's something that we still have to decide on. Is possibly this upcoming Saturday after the rally. But I spoke with the bowling alley, and they said that to have an event like ours, it would be around 8:30 p.m. So that's kind of ways after the rally, and we're, I don't know how people feel about going there at 8:30 at night. I'm cool with it. I stay up late. It don't bother me. But, people do got to work on Sunday perhaps, or other things going on. So it would be 5 people per lane. We can get the lanes together. It would be about a $50 deposit to get 4 lanes put together, 4 or 5 lanes put together. We just have to figure out whether or not we're going to do it this Saturday, or if we decide not to do it this Saturday, then I think we should be looking for a date somewhere in January, because, the holidays are coming up. People are going to be busy, and we really would like to see this work out, because we think this is one of the ways we can get people from becoming a 5 or a 4 to maybe a 3 or a 2 or a 1. We're trying to offer a solution to get more people involved, because maybe these meetings are, a little dry for folks. You know, they want to just, you know, and it's on their weekend and they just want to sit back, relax, you know, not think about stuff too much. But still, you know, we do need to get them to come and you know, put in their input, you know. So yeah, we're trying to come up with ways to get people involved. And this is an idea. So
It is great. Thank you. And you know, it is coming up a week away. So generally when you want to promote things, it'd be good to do it a month out. You know what I mean?
yeah, the idea behind that, even, you know, yeah, I know it's a week away, but is just to have this as a trial run to just see how it is there and just to see, you know, are we
Okay.
gonna, you know, that's all. It doesn't got to happen this week though. That's for sure. We could put it in January and then put full force behind it to make it happen and get people involved so we can, you know, gotta promote it. So
Yeah, let's I think you know, we should put a poll together. We should put something together to try to get a little more input because you guys are working on this. So let's get it out there so that we're not just popping it on people. Let people be a part of it. You know, the 4 lanes put together at 50, or should we limit it to a certain amount of people so we don't have to put money down? You know, because money and stuff is an issue too. Because we have a lot of part-timers, you know, that are living on the edge, you know. So
yeah,
we don't really want to make them pay if we don't have to, you know.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. Any thoughts on that? What do you think? Anybody else too?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was gonna spread for the 50, you know, like this, I wasn't gonna allow money to stop this from happening. So the deposit's not the issue. It's just the fact this is cutting it close, like it is only a week away. So,
Okay.
um, you know, if we
Propose.
want to figure out what's, you know, what people think and come up with a date in January, I think that may be the best thing. So,
So anybody on the call that's interested? I'm interested. Anyone like maybe do the hand raise icon?
Oh, let me do the hand raising. Hold on, more hand raising. Where's my hand raising? Oh, there we
Go
go.
ahead, Nicole.
Oh yeah, I'm interested, but next week's not a good day for me. And I don't think that money, like Cole said, money should be the issue why we can't get it started. Because as always, we'll come together, make sure the deposit is paid. But I think that we should shoot for January so we can like get it more out there. And I mean, I also like the idea of Cole saying, you know, see how it works out. But it's just that this Saturday wouldn't be a good day for me. But I'm all in for this bowling thing.
thank you, Nicole.
And it's something that you guys are coming up with. It's your idea, and we're trying to be an example of what our union needs to be, and that is when members have ideas and they want to do stuff, get behind it. You know what I mean? And if it works
Yeah,
out,
well,
if it don't work out, it don't
yeah.
work out.
Well, yeah, just like Cole said, like he pushing forward to get 4 lanes and let's see how it might, you know, go over. But I'm just thinking like because I really want to be there. I'll be a little selfish. I don't want you guys to have it next week because I don't want to miss it. It's actually my grandson's first birthday, so I have to, you know, be with my daughter. But you know, in January, I definitely can clear a date. I want to be there. I want to be a part of it. I want to support it. So that's why I was sure to help that money wouldn't be the issue of coming, but it's just a date for me. So I think that we should hold off and push it towards January to make it a
Yeah,
success, even if it's just the current people on this call or a few people from the coalition there. We'll see how it may go over or how well it
yeah,
can grow.
yeah. I agree with you,
As
Nicole.
one thing.
And I think, I mean, pushing it away is fine too. You know, because you know, even this upcoming Saturday, it's getting close to Christmas. People are gonna have things to do, so putting it in January will kind of help along with getting people to come along, and we can promote it. You know, have a flyer and promote it.
Cool. So how about this, Cole? What do you think of just coming up with a couple dates, couple choices? Let me get Willette also in here. You know, what do you think about idea coming up with a couple choices of times or dates, and And
Yeah,
maybe you
that's
could
fine.
even reach out to Nicole as well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And just come up with a choice so that everyone, and we could post it in the group, and that way more people could
Well,
participate.
yeah, me and Janice, we'll come up with dates. Like I said, we were thinking if this not this week, then definitely maybe a couple early weeks into January, because we do want to get this on the ball.
Yeah,
No pun intended, going. So
yeah,
that's all.
yeah. And if we strike out, so what?
That's right. So what?
So we'll let
Yeah,
Jan-
Eric. You asked the question that I was going to ask. I was going to ask about the venue, where it was going to be, because we have to think about the weather as well. Even though we go all over everywhere, but just to have it maybe centrally located so people can get there, they can accessibly get there.
Oh yeah, well, it's right off of I believe it's right off of 294 and 290.
Okay,
So yeah,
what's the address?
45
40.
Harrison.
Yeah.
It's Hillside Bowl.
Oh,
Um,
I've been there.
It's
Okay.
in the agenda too, which should be on the screen. I hope you can see it. Right there. So anybody else? Okay, great. So Cole and everybody and Jan, Nicole, will let can y'all between now and then just kind of just reach out to each other and just put some stuff together, please?
Yes. I'll be reaching out to Janice and Nicole, and we'll get it figured out.
Awesome. Okay, so we have a couple. Now we're going to go into introductions for everybody on here, and we do have we had a poll to let we don't. Our policy is we don't let elected leaders or officers on the call. They can listen, but if we let them on, then the membership and the coalition has to decide in a poll. So we had that in our private group. Brother Eric Slater, executive board member of North Park Garage, unjustly fired by Keith Hill. He's on the call, and he's got some information to share with us. I believe about the executive board meeting, and about his current employment status, possible return to work status. If Eric, if you could introduce yourself and present to us what you'd like to present to us, and then we'll move on throughout the agenda. Please go ahead. You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry guys. Can you guys hear me? I'm in the hospital with my father. I apologize, I didn't be able to catch all the rest of the meeting. Let me just grab my notes real quick. I didn't want to pick up much of your time, and I know you have important other things to discuss, so I'll get on and get out quick. Okay, so just a positive thing to say, so I'm encouraged to report that the Illinois Labor Relations Board has issued an official complaint against the Chicago Transit Authority. We have requested that I be returned to work and made whole, and we expect the trial to begin in February. We're asking anyone who has been present at North Park Garage around the time it was illegally fired to please contact our lawyer. I'm going to put my phone number and email in the text in a minute. We're planning on reaching out directly to workers in North Park, and we have been to give them factual information and ask them to sign a petition demanding that the 241 president end his agreement with the CTA management, keeping myself, workers elected representative, from the work site. Please contact me if you would like to help. I'll put my contact information. One other thing is Local 241 has a mass membership meeting on the first Tuesdays of every month. If anyone plans on attending, please reach out to me. We are considering putting resolutions forward before the membership and would appreciate your assistance. I believe you guys are also doing stuff, so if I can help, please let me know. I wanted to say thank you for voting to allow me to participate for the second meeting in a row. I looked at the flyer for December 11th. I looked at the politics of it. I thought it was great. Yeah, I can talk about other things, but anything else you need me to talk about, Eric?
Could you tell us about the executive board meeting?
Well, one thing I'm prepared to talk about is the pick that we're facing. Cut me off if I'm speaking too long, but just real briefly, this is very important to workers. The working conditions we face. We have a seasonal pick, and there were some contractual violations identified at the last moment, and by the top union officials, and CTA is apparently arguing that those are past practice because it claims the union did not assert the right to bargain over them in a timely fashion. I think it would be a real step forward if we stop doing this stuff at the last minute. We're currently in contract negotiations. We're 2 years out of contract, which unfortunately is very normal for our local. Normally, when a contract ends, a strong union, it's a strike date, as you can see in some of the UAW and other Teamsters unions nationally. And it's not. It's going on and on and on, and this really helps management and harms our union in the workplaces. But one thing we could be doing immediately is demanding in contract negotiations that we have a written promise from the employer that the union receives the pick materials at least a month in advance. Now that would be useful. It may not happen immediately in the contract. Now what we could do immediately is have all the clerks who are running the pick for the union and for the workplace, and the shop stewards and the executive board members have a pick meeting at least once every pick at the union office, and have us go through line by line the picks, the schedules, and send it back to CTA management and say, look, this is breaking the contract here, here, and here, fix it, or we're not going to go forward with the pick. And I think this would be very positive to do, because it could begin to build a broader continuity of understanding of our contractual rights, as well as build our organizational strength in case we need to strike to force the employer to comply with the contract they signed with the workers' union. Yeah, so that I think is something we can be demanding. We can be demanding that the union get the pick materials from the employer at least a month in advance, and that we expend some of our resources to help to organize our position on it on the pick every 3 months or so, because it's getting worse. If you ever looked at any of the bus garages and you've been here for a few years, it used to be the schedules were available all around the room, and then it's now 3/4 of the room, then 1/4 of the room. Now there's very little pick choices at all. So it is correct that stopping the pick may have been related to the lowering of the working conditions, but this is not the way to do it, in my opinion. The way to do it is to organize it as a union. Yeah, I'm sorry if I spoke too long.
Thank you.
There's a lot of other immediate and urgent matters going on, including workers who are right now being threatened with termination if they did not get vaccinated. Certainly the violence that we're facing, but I really don't want to take up all your time.
Yeah, and those are, it's definitely legitimate. Thank you very much. So we got
Eric, wait, I have a question for him.
Nicole, can you just let Tom go first, please? He had his hand up first.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead, Tom. Colangelo. You unmute yourself. Maybe you stepped away. Hold on. Okay. Tom? All right, Tom, whenever you're ready, we'll come back to you. Nicole, go ahead.
Hey, Eric, this is Nicole. I just have a question for you because I know that you sit on the executive board. With the decision of the pick being canceled and not postponed, is it per the collective bargaining agreement that be brought to the members and let the members decide? Why did the president decide that on his own and not bring it to the members? Because the pick is a contractual violation, correct?
I think a few things you're saying there. What the top officers are saying and what management's been saying, for instance, we've been demanding the pick early. They're saying we have the management will say that they do not have to give the pick to workers more than a week in advance per the contract. And so we need to fight to get that in the contract, and we're in the contract negotiations right now, so we should do it. But the broader problem, and there's nothing in the bylaws or the Constitution that I know of that says the union officials have to do something in a certain way. What I'm saying is we should create that that policy
What I'm saying, Eric, is
as a
that
union.
what I'm saying is picking rights is a contractual. If it's violated, it's a contractual violation, right?
So the contractual violation is in the hours and the amount of routes that are in each of the runs, and the top officers. Look, this stuff has been going on for a long time, and I'm in North
Right.
Park.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to. The bottom line. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
Because per the CBA, we are supposed to pick 4 times a year. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So the violation, if you cancel the pick, that means we didn't pick 4 times a year. So that's a contractual violation. It's not nothing to do with the runs, nothing to do with the weekends. It's a contractual violation because we're not picking 4 times a year. And with that violation, do you agree that this should have been brought to the members and it should have been up to the members whether we postpone or cancel this pick? Why did the president make that decision?
I can't speak for the president, but I certainly agree with you.
I'm saying, but did you guys have a meeting and he talked to you guys? Did he even bring it to the executive board?
No, he made his decision and then told the executive board about 2 days ago.
And that's a violation. He cannot do that. And this is a problem that I have. And no one called him on it. You didn't say you called him on it either, because that takes the members' rights away from us. Us being members, we have a say. The president works for us. He don't make that decision. And you as elected board member, you didn't even call him on it, nor did anybody else. He can't come to you and tell you anything. He could come and say, well, this is what I did, or this is what we're going to think about. He's supposed to bring that violation to the members and have a special meeting and let the members decide what to do. And that's a big problem with 241.
We can. The meeting's on Tuesday.
I'm going. But good. I'm saying, I'm going, but what I'm saying is,
we can.
Right, exactly. I'm going to bring up that motion. But what I'm saying to you is that you sit on that board. And before I even said that, we elect you guys, even though I didn't elect you because I don't work in the North Park garage, but we elect you guys to stand up for us when we can't stand up for ourselves. And this way, it seems like you guys take the members' voice away because you don't stand up for us to the president, in my opinion.
So one thing we can do immediately, and one of the reasons why the bylaws are set up so that the executive board meeting happens before the mass membership meeting. And I've been fighting for the bylaws to actually be followed. It's supposed to be 7 days. In this case, it's only like 4 days. The reason why it's supposed to be 7 days is so the executive board can do just what I'm doing, is communicating with the membership and saying, look, we think there's a problem with what, say, an officer is doing, or we would like to bring that to your attention. And now the membership comes to the mass membership meeting and says, we don't agree with the decision made by an officer within that past month. And they're required to give a report. And so we can actually vote down a report, and we can actually put forward resolutions to overturn the decision. Yeah. So for instance, we could be calling for a committee of the ranks to do the picks. Sorry, go ahead.
I gotta be out of order here, Eric. I gotta be out of order. Thank you for the explanation about how democracy should be at Local 241, but it's not. And you know it. You know that man is a goddamn tyrant. Answer Sister Nicole's question for us. Why did you not, or did you, call Keith Hill out at the executive board meeting and say he was out of order? He was acting undemocratically. Did you do that?
Yes, I can say as far as I could. And New Business, I did speak on this issue.
Exactly what you said, or paraphrase it, and tell us how he responded to you.
Well, I can tell you that oftentimes there's 3 tricks that unfortunately the union officials have been using for several generations. They, like you say, out of order.
Eric,
they like to change the. They say motion to end debate.
I can't take it, Eric. You out of order, brother.
I see.
Why.
It sounds like you feel. I'm sure you're making a joke. But let me finish what I was saying.
No.
And then the other thing that's being done is that they prematurely end the meeting. They require a response to happen in New Business. I'm sorry. Do I have the floor?
Yourself. I'm muting you, Eric Slater. I'm sick of your crap. Coangelo. Eric Struck. Eric Struck, unmute yourself, brother. Eric Struck.
Yeah, man. So here's the problem, man. This is why I voted against Slater being allowed to come in here to begin with. You know what I mean? I was encouraging other people to vote against having him in here, and what is happening is exactly what I knew was going to happen. Okay, he's going to come in here. He's going to try to run the meeting. He's got his own agenda that, as an executive board member, is not compatible with ours. You know what I mean? He talks a good game, but what he is trying to do is he's trying to take over this group and make it follow his agenda. You know what I mean? But this guy has been in Keith's pocket before. I'd like to point out that he got on the mic at an ATU convention to beg the late President Larry Hanley to let Chief Thief Keith Hill off of the hundreds of thousands of dollars that he stole from us so Keith could be in good standing so he could get elected and rip us off again. Okay, so he did him that little favor, and it's not going to do any good to Slater to deny that because we got video footage of him doing that. You know what I mean? And the other thing is like, so he's got this group, Transit Workers to Unite. When did they ever have a demonstration? We've been doing demonstrations since we started. You know what I mean? We have a plan of action where we're going to get people out on the streets. You know what I mean? He hasn't been doing anything except promoting his own little fascist organization. He is in a fascist organization. It's called the Socialist Workers Party. It's misnamed because it has nothing to do with socialism or workers. You know what I mean? I'm just give you one example of many. They ran an article on November 29th talking about Rittenhouse's trial, and they called the demonstrators, the people that were demonstrating against the racist murder of Jacob Blake. He called them a crowd. The article called them a crowd of Antifa anarchists, BLM leaders, and rioters. And they called the demonstrations violent actions. And then the article went on to claim that neither Rittenhouse nor the judge are racist. And he also said that the article also said that there was quote unquote no evidence that Rittenhouse is a white supremacist, and said that Rittenhouse's Nazism isn't an issue in the trial. I mean, this is not a good look for somebody in a union that's over 70% Black. I don't think that he should be participating in any of our meetings at all. I think it was a mistake to let him on here, and you can see what comes from him. When you do let him get his foot in the door.
Thank you. We got a couple more. Eric Slater, did you want to respond to any of that?
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to respond. First of all, I'm not a member of the Social Workers Party, so everything you just said was a little confused. But people can read for themselves those documents he's bringing up. And I certainly don't want to take up all your time about those issues, but I'm willing to talk about all of them. In terms of in the pocket of President Hill, well, I am an elected delegate to the international conventions and one of the most active in ATU. Several things that we did was try to get solidarity with the Chicago teachers strike. We were able during the international convention to get several delegations from several ATU locals to support the recent UAW struggles in the last convention. What he's referring to when Hanley was still alive was when the ATU International was attempting to take away, and has for several iterations of the administration, the independence of the local. And anyone who's in Local 241 and 308, who's been around for a few years, have seen them come in and trustee our local. And they have taken away the rights of the workers to elect their own representatives. So what was going on there was a defense of our local against the international. It had nothing to do with Mr. Hill, who wasn't an official at that point. He wasn't a delegate. It was for the defense of the rights of the workers in Chicago to make the decision on their own leadership. And that's actually the same thing as facing my case. It's a question of management choosing, and unfortunately trying to work with the internal struggle inside the union to get one section of the union to attack another section of the union in order to harm the entire organization. That's why they don't allow me on property. That's why they call the Chicago Police Department to do so. That's why they've gone into an agreement with President Hill in writing to keep me from the property. Now, I don't want to take any more of this time because this, unfortunately, having this back and forth about personalities doesn't allow the ranks of our union to discuss what they want to do. And I really feel you guys have an opportunity to be a pole of attraction for rank and file workers to retake our union and to reform it into a democratic organization.
All right, Nicole. Go ahead, Nicole.
Eric, I don't have anything, Eric.
Tom Coangelo, please. You have your hand up for a long time. I think your hand is hurting. Your arm is your shoulder.
Hello?
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, well, Eric Struck, he covered everything that I wanted to say, basically.
Okay, Eric Slater. I on behalf of the Justice Coalition and all the participants, including myself, I apologize for losing control of myself. I just did what I hate, you know, and but I totally disagree with you. And you're so patronizing. It just sometimes, Eric, you really irk me. Okay. We are working on building a democratic organization and reform in our union. And just because we hold our leadership accountable does not mean we are not a democratic organization. That is exactly what we are supposed to do. Okay, so we are doing, so I starkly disagree with you. Okay, I shouldn't have muted you. I shouldn't have done all that stuff. It wasn't necessary. It was naughty. I was out of order, but I disagree with you. And we are already a pole of attraction, like Brother Eric Struck said, okay? We are attracting everything. We're attracting the good and the not so good, okay? But the main thing you gotta understand, Eric Slater, we are not your organization.
Apologize, everyone. I have to go. The doctor's in the room with my father. I'll try to come back later.
Thank you for joining us. Everybody, Eric Slater does his thing, we do our thing. And if we can all find some common ground outside of this, that's fine. But we cannot spend any more time dealing with people who will not tell us or will not hold the leadership accountable. If you want to defend the tyranny, please, we're not the place. Please.
Eric, just one thing, you were not out of order this time. You was actually in order. Please do not say that again. Only when you're out of order.
You know, I can't win with you. That's like
you can't. You can't, Eric. You wasn't out of order. You wasn't out of order that time. I want you
saying I'm out of order.
Exactly. I want you to stay in. I want you to stay in order and not get out of order, Eric. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a one-on-one with you.
Okay, all right. Where's my gavel? Sorry. Okay, let's move on. Anyone had any comments? And then we can move on. Okay, all right. So let's do introductions. Who we got here? We got Eric Struck. Willette's got her hand. Come on, Willette, talk to us.
Yes, Eric, I just want to agree with Nicole. Don't ever feel like that. Believe me, Nicole will let you know, and so will others. You know, when you have an opinion, the only thing I can say, I can appreciate the way you came back. That's because you are who you are. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Willette. You are in order. So let's now Eric Struck. Let me tell y'all about Eric Struck. He doesn't come to the meetings a lot, but this is another one of Keith Hill's favorite people. And he is the founder of our newsletter. Finally got the news, and he's the publisher of it. And we just make it pretty. Eric Struck has been unjustly fired, and he's fighting for his job as well. He's hardcore, and Keith Hill is straight up trying to get him fired. So anyways, Eric Struck, introduce yourself and share any comments, and then I want to get down the list. So
thank you, brother.
Any concerns you have too, okay? Any questions, anything?
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. So I've been, my part-time hire date was in 2014. My full-time hire date was 2016. Been a bus operator at Chicago Garage the whole time. I know probably everybody in this chat has some type of repetitive stress injury. I'm no different. I messed my wrist up, and I went into sick book March 15th, tried to apply for a reasonable accommodation. The reasonable accommodation committee turned me down. I appealed it. They turned me down again, and they tried to force me back to work by October 5th. And then October 5th, I got my discharge notice. So I filed a grievance with the union, and I mean, you know where all that's gonna go. You know what I mean? But I'm already talking to lawyers and stuff, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But you know, I would encourage people to check out Slater's background themselves. He's with a group called the Socialist Workers Party, which is literally a fascist party. They got a newspaper called The Militant. They support the Nazi government in Ukraine. They support Israel's suppression of the Palestinian freedom movement. It's a really, really awful group. It's not going to do him any good to deny that he's in that group, because he has written for their newspaper before. So I know him to be a member. I don't think he should be allowed to participate in this, because he clearly has his own agenda. What a lot of people don't know about him is this dude actually graduated from Boston University. So what the hell is he doing operating buses? I got this job because I didn't have any other choice, because I like to like have a roof over my head and not starve, you know? So I'm sure this dude views himself as like, you know, the great white hope or something like that. But it's not a good look in a union that's 70% black. You know what I'm saying? In any case, I got a dip because there's some comrades of mine in town. There was the convention over this weekend of the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression, and I got to go hook up with them before they got to go jump on a plane. So I appreciate everybody. I'm gonna try and be more consistent with attending this stuff now that I'm fired. So I'll see everybody later, and thanks again.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, we got Nicole, go ahead. Nicole, you had your hand up? Okay, maybe not.
Oh
Sharon.
no, I did have my hand up, but I want to ask Eric a question, but I'll contact him directly since he had to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
thank
cool.
you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just want to know if you filed a labor charge, unfair labor charge. You said you filed a grievance, but you didn't say if you filed an unfair labor charge for being fired. And if not, let's get together and get that done.
Absolutely, yeah. I did not do that yet. I got one.
Well, we got to get on top of that.
Okay.
Well,
no problem.
on top, I'll contact you directly.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll talk soon. Thanks, sister. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, Sharon, and please introduce yourself and any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns.
Well, actually, you talking to me, Eric?
Yes. Welcome.
Okay. Well, actually, hello everyone. First of all, I came in right after when Eric was getting off, so I didn't really hear him, nor did I hear your rebuttal to that. So I'm like trying to catch up.
Okay. Well, you know, there's going to be a recording, so would it be okay if we catch up? If you catch up that way?
Yes.
Okay.
I will.
So how are things with you? You know, you've been a part-timer for coming on 9 years now.
Yeah, actually, I've been I haven't been back to work since July 7th. That was the last time that I was at work. I had an incident that happened to me, and you know, I did ARC, you know, and tried to get them to let me come back to work because I'm not getting paid for this accident.
Oh.
And hopefully I'll get some response by Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Well, stay in touch with us, and let's, you know, glad to have you with us.
Yeah. And also when they were, you know, I don't understand, like last year, I had put in a grievance for CTA suspending me for 1 day, saying that, you know, because I was working at O'Hare, and they suspended me for 1 day because when Burnside came there, I wasn't in the booth. Okay.
Hold on, Sharon. Did you want me to pause the recording for this, or?
I don't care, because you know
okay,
what?
Go ahead.
Because they suspended me. It's all over with CTA.
Right,
Bottom line is, I was on the platform. Burnside didn't see me, and I got suspended. I told them to pull the tape. They still didn't pull the tape. And then all of a sudden, they just not coming up with this grievance. I'm talking about the union. They just now, sending me something that I had to go in front of the board now to tell them about my grievance. That's a year ago. Do you understand? It's a year. It takes them a whole year.
Yeah, it does happen, unfortunately. But it doesn't mean that you have no recourse to get it removed. But yeah, it's like a year that's been on your record. You could have accumulated more hits and gotten in trouble. Go ahead, Nicole. Nicole, you had something to add. Yeah, Sharon. So it's
Grievances are supposed to be held a whole different way. So maybe you should file a complaint against the union for not doing what they're supposed to with the Illinois Relations Board, because it doesn't take a year for them. It's a process that the grievances are supposed to go through. And clearly 241 and 308 are not adhering to the rules. That's why CTA don't adhere to them. So yeah, you should file a complaint, because that's unacceptable. You should not be off work a year. Part of the collective bargaining agreement, there's a time limit for how grievances are supposed to be handled. I would file a complaint.
Well, I don't want to get on the union bad side,
What? They don't care about getting on your bad side. What you care about getting on their bad side for?
That's not you being on this call. You on their bad side, so you're
exactly. You're out of order. You're out of order.
Absolutely.
You've been hanging with Eric too much. You're out of order. Who cares about their bad side? It is their job. If they don't do their job, you hold them accountable. And then they'll do their job and you won't have to question them. I file complaints all the time, like every other day, to be exact. And it doesn't bother me. If they don't like me, I don't care, but they will respect me, and they will respect the money that I pay their salaries with, as you should require them to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, because I had forgot all about that. I had filed a grievance on that.
That hearing, okay? Make sure you go, okay?
That's tomorrow.
Okay, go there, please. Don't miss it. All right.
And for what they're trying to say that I wasn't in a booth, I mean, that's part of my job, is to walk the platform.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, platform is not the booth at O'Hare. It's very different location.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on just for is that okay?
Yeah.
Person? Okay. Is that all right? Sharon?
Okay with me.
Okay, cool. So we got someone here with a phone number 0207. You might be someone that's like listening while you're hang on, let me see if I got that number here. Yep, I know who that is. He's okay, everybody. Okay, Tom, introduce yourself.
Tom Colangelo, Forest Glen Garage, full-time bus operator, former Pace bus driver too, from 1999.
Thank you. And Cole, sort of introduce yourself. Go ahead, just for formality.
Oh yeah, Forest Glen, bus operator, been here about 7 years. And I just got to commend everybody for being here and taking the time out of your day to be a part of this. You all know, what's going on, and taking some action is really important. And y'all are doing that today. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you, especially our guests. I really appreciate you all showing up and taking time out of your days to be here. And yeah, we got to start holding this leadership accountable for what they're doing to us and our coworkers, and really an effect to our families, because I do take this personally. This is money that I'm bringing home, that I'm taking care of my family with, and you all are taking your money home and taking care of your families with the money that you bring home from CTA. So this is personal. It's not just business. So, so And thank you too, Eric.
Hey, we all in this together. We got I'm gonna get to our guests next. So we got, I think, Kathy, Sister Kathy, introduce yourself, please, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. So, my name is Kathy Strzelecki. I'm a retired switchman. I'm still in the union, and I think this is a really good meeting. And I just wanted to say that so many good points got brought up, but I wonder if we can fight for Sharon's job. Maybe Sharon's not quite ready to do that yet because of the union process, but I think that's something we need to put on our agenda. We at least, I think, need to bring it to light because she sure isn't the only one who's been screwed over by the union and the company. So, yeah.
Yeah, I say, Sharon, I say, think about it. Let's think about doing a little protest, about workers in similar situations. You be a part of that, of course, but we'll cover everybody that's been discriminated against and who are dealing with being hurt and not being able to work, those kind of things. Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so frustrated with the union because they're not, it's like the CSA situations are minute. And I guess my issue last year with that booth, that was so minute, they put it on a back burner. I've been thinking about, getting out of the union because I'm so sick of them.
Well, and you have that right to stop paying dues. You're still going to be in it. You're just not going to, your job is still going to be bargained for. You're still going to be, your job is going to be bargained for by our union. But just because we stop paying dues doesn't mean that we stop taking action. And frankly, if everyone in this call stopped paying dues tomorrow, they wouldn't care because they work with the CTA to bring in so many part-time jobs. They get new people. They're always keeping money coming in. I look at the financials that they post. She reads it. The secretary reads it. Our revenue's down and it's going down. It's trending down. But they'll be out of office and they don't care. They don't care. They don't care about us not paying dues. They really don't. But you have that right. Definitely.
I have a question. Have they been doing anything about, laying people off because they don't take the shot?
Yeah, it's already happening.
So they've been laying and firing people.
I don't know about the terminations full out, but they're setting people up for it. They're on the road to being out. So there's a lot of people that are going to be out. But I can't get numbers. I don't have numbers. I guess maybe we can ask it at the union meeting this month. That'd be a good question. Okay, Eric Slater, you had a little input there.
Yeah, I thought I'd just help with that. I'm sorry, I had to, the cardiologist had to talk to him. I missed everything. But I did, what was reported at the board meeting was, at least by the third vice president, Marquell Williams, is that at least 10, I said exactly 10 workers were fired for not having the vaccine. And that's just the maintenance, which is just a few hundred workers. I asked the question in new business, or was it old business, of the officers to give us the exact number of workers who are either already fired or are in pending termination. I know of several workers in my garage alone that have told me that they're being threatened with it. And after I spoke and they refused to answer the question, a steward from my garage spoke and asked, is that all you're going to do? All you're going to do is file a grievance? And that's a problem with business unionism. That's all they know what to do. All they know what to do is go into binding interest arbitration with some judge, or they know how to go be friends with some lawyers or some judges. So we need to do something else. We need to at least, instead of going to binding interest arbitration, at least bring it to a vote for the members to decide whether to do that. And if we want to do other things, such as organize a contract campaign to win support within the public, if we want to prepare for a strike, along with our sister local 308 and other unions in the city, we should have the right to do that as a union. And we do have that right. We need to, that's why I'm very hopeful organizations like this can help encourage workers to do that.
All right, thank you. All right, so we have Janice. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Janice Brown. I'm a CSA for 8 years at CTA. I like my job. I don't love it at this point. I make $26,000 a year. 26,000. That's what I make a year. I don't get a sick day, a vacation. I had to work the holidays. Everybody else at 5, 6, 7 was at home with their families, and I had to work the holiday with no holiday pay. But there and still, I came to work. Unlike a lot of my coworkers, and I don't blame them for not coming to work when you're not keeping us safe. You're not paying us. We don't have a contract. You're basically disrespecting us all around. And I'm about tired of it. I'm fed up with it. So I'm ready to strike. I'm ready to get a lawyer. I'm ready to do whatever I need to do to get CTA to understand that we're sick and tired. That's basically it.
Yes. And you know, this hour of power protest on Saturday at Harlem and Lake, we're gonna get on that bullhorn, and I hope you and the other sister, you know, will get on our live stream like you did at Howard and speak the truth. Because we need to inspire more coworkers to speak up like you, especially the part-timers, and us full-timers need to back you 120%. Okay, we have Melissa. Hey, I think this is the first time you've been on our call. Good to have you. If you'd like to speak, please unmute yourself. Introduce yourself. Okay, I'm gonna ask to unmute you with this little button here. Maybe you don't want to speak. That's okay. Kiana. Maybe.
Hi.
Hey sis, welcome.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Hey.
welcome.
I'm Kiana, also known as Kiki B on Facebook. So some of y'all may know me. It took me 7 years to become full-time. So I finally became full-time as a CSR last year. Pretty much I'm fed up with the union and CTA. I'm fed up with their bullshit. I'm so ready for a change because I'm very aggravated with what's going on. So thanks, Willette, for inviting me. Did she leave?
For sure.
Have a good day, everyone. I just got off of work and I'm tired, so I'm gone. Have a good one. Let me know when the next meeting will be, Willette or Eric.
You're in the list, so you're gonna be notified.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. And let's see, we're almost done with the list. We got Robert Thomas. You wanna
Yes.
introduce yourself?
Hello, group. Robert Thomas, bus operator out of 103rd Garage. Started in 2016. That's about it. I'm happy to be part of this movement. We got to hold our union officials accountable. They have to be accountable with ethics, with money, with our money that we're paying them. And if they don't want to do the right thing, that's fine. We'll vote them out.
There you go. And we'll do the right thing regardless of what they do, right? Because we just got to do what they refuse. And by the way, everybody, Robert makes some beautiful signs, some real clever signs at our protests.
Yeah, so I got a good sign that deals with our union officials getting illegal PPP loans. So I'll bring that sign to the protest. I have 5 copies of the signs, double-sided, so I'll be able to give some of the other members that join the protest the same sign.
The PPP bandits.
Yep.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And we have to do more. We have to do more research. There's probably more corruption that they're doing. I think Eric was the person that found that information out on those union officials getting those illegal PPP loans, and most of them, I know the ones at my garage, they claim they have a taxi business. I've never heard them talk about any business that they have. So we already know what this is. It's corruption at its finest, and we just have to let the city know, and let the world know what they're doing, so we can get more members involved, and hopefully replace the people that just want to get more and more and more.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And keep on the fight, the spirit. We got James Angelo, and I'm not familiar. Can you introduce yourself? James Angelo. I know, I think you had to you were looking at our agenda, maybe you had some questions. James Angelo, please introduce yourself. All right. I'm not sure who you are. So I'm gonna move you to the waiting room. Maybe you could send a text or something and let me know who you are, okay? Because we're about to get into some stuff here. Okay. Well, maybe, oh, Janice Brown, okay. All right, so James Angelo's gone. It's like, oh, okay, no problem.
Eric, I think I mean, he's gone now, but I think I could speak for James Angelo. I believe he's from the Glen.
Oh, good.
If he comes back. Yeah, if he comes back. I'll text him now and see what's going on.
Yeah, tell him just he doesn't have to introduce himself. He didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
You vouch for him.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. You wanted to say something? I see your hand up.
Yeah. The question I had was, I was under the assumption that they weren't turning CSAs over to CSR. So when I had heard she said 7 years to CSR, even though it's still a long time, I was still surprised that it occurred.
Yeah, it happens.
So it does happen. Okay.
It's
well,
rare.
It needs to happen a lot sooner than 7 years. That's ridiculous.
Willette has some insight on that. Go ahead,
okay.
Willette.
Yes, let me give you a little bit of information. My name is Willette Lucas. I've been with CTA going on 9 years. I am still a CSA. The thing is, we were supposed to come in as CSRs. They did not do that. And they're keeping us there because the government is paying them for each one of us. And from a business standpoint, why would you? And the union agreed to this. And this is how we got in the position that we're in now with the president of the union that we now have. And they voted him back in. So no telling what we're going to give up or what he's going to give up when the contract does, come about. So a lot of things that happen, it makes a world of difference. And we started February 2013, that's when the first CSAs came in. From that point, they've only turned over 100, and it's been over 1,000 of us.
Wow.
And then the thing that's bad as well, when people get fired from the rail, they generally send them back to janitors, because they wanted their full-time jobs. And after a year, they bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
4 of these people, they bought back and put them as CSRs, and they have only between 3 to 4 years. And that's pushing the rest of us that's been there.
Down
6 years behind.
Yeah.
We got to wait because they're not moving us that fast. And it's something, when we first got in, they told us within, if you keep your record straight, nothing on your record, you'll bypass everybody else that have a bad record. 2 years in, that changed. They say your record will follow you. Also, they told us you come in according to, your
Uh-oh.
What?
She muted
Hello?
herself.
Hey, I can't hear.
She muted herself. Oh,
So
shoot.
we didn't hear a word she said.
Yeah, she hit the wrong button.
We didn't hear a word
Willette.
you said.
Look at Willette. She's just talking. Here, let's all pretend to like make up words. My name is Willette. And I think that
No, they put it down.
Eric, you out of
she's
order.
back.
They
She's back.
stole it, and they're still stealing. So that's money that we should get back because we did not agree to that.
Mm.
So they're doing that.
Hey.
It's just so many things,
Willette,
and you know.
Willette, be careful with those lovely nails of yours. You keep hitting the mute button.
Oh, did
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was over here, like, every time you muted yourself, I was making up words. It was really funny.
And you know, you can make them up very well, I'm sure.
Yes.
I have no problem with you making up those words. And then I'm just gonna say it's just 5 little points I want to just reiterate. I'm done.
Okay.
You know, and this is to Sharon. They want us to be quiet. They want us not to say anything. They want us to be afraid. Why would I be afraid of anybody? I'm like Cheryl. I'm a half a brick away from being, you know, out on the street. Get out of here. You know?
Who wants us to
And
be
then
afraid?
I had,
The union?
pardon me, baby.
Who want us to be afraid? The union or CTA?
No, you're saying no. You as far as being afraid because you don't want them to, you don't want to get on the wrong side of them.
I'm on the wrong side of the union.
The side is the right side. They
Well,
have
they
no
want
right
you.
side.
They both want you to be afraid. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
they have no side. You know, the thing is, you have to just continue to do what you know is right, and that is to fight. You know, it was they don't want you. And one thing, you get out the union, you don't have a voice. You know, when you in the union, you have that voice.
That's exactly right, Willette. Once you leave the union, you no longer pay dues. You no longer have a voice.
You don't have a voice. They could do
You
it.
get those voting privileges. They're all gone. And
They're still
happy
doing what they
because-
want to do.
Yeah, and they got their peanut
us
gallery
now.
in there to vote in everything, all the parties and all this stupid crap.
But like Willette says, now they have to deal with us. Now we're all starting to swirl and come together. Now they have to deal with all of us.
Yes.
And we
Oh,
all
they
have
still
our
doing
voices.
it. Either way, Cole, they're still doing what they want to do.
You know, nothing is
For
going to
now,
happen
for
overnight.
now, yes, you're
They're
right.
not.
For now,
They're not.
Nothing's going to happen overnight.
but they're certainly scared of us. Don't think that they're not.
Absolutely.
And
you know, it's another thing. I know one person was terminated from 308, okay, because of not taking the vaccine. Okay, I have another person, she went on and resigned. She had 8 years as well, going on 9 years. She had cancer. And they pushing her to come back to work, She could not come back to work. So she just went on and resigned. And I think that's a terrible thing, you know, when you're forced out of here. And it's so many things. And vacation. I had my vacation because my birthday just passed. When I got back, I got my check. You know what my check was? A little over $200. And I don't miss any work. That was 4 days I missed because I only work 8 days. So how in the world can I be, how can I be afraid of anybody for any reason? No way in the world. I'm afraid not to fight.
Yeah.
You know, so it make a difference. And so it's just so many times that we, you know, we'll sit back. I'll sit back a lot, but no, I don't sit back when it comes to what I need to do for me. And the thing is, we need to just fight. We need to fight. We need to keep fighting and don't give up. I know it's like you say, slow but steady, and it works. But we have to do it, and we have to do it together. We need everybody that we got in the Justice Coalition. If we do what we're supposed to do, believe me, we're gonna add. It's added now. Look, when we started, Eric, how many was it? 3 or 4.
Me and you.
Okay. That's all. Now look at it. We got more than 10 people, I think, on the line today. That 15. Is saying something.
Thank you.
You know, and I appreciate. And one thing, we may get tired. Eric don't get tired. I love his energy. Nicole is such an asset. I love her energy. Kathy never gives up. She's not retired. I don't know what you call it. She's still in there fighting with us. So, you know, as long as we can get together, like, and I feel just like Eric said, we have to do things on our own time. And Sharon, you know, you Jan, and I know that well because we've done that. You get out, you know, on your own time, off the clock, off the clock, and do what you need to do. And we can start to try to get people together once they see we're doing something. Like
That's right.
Kiana,
That's
the
right.
one that got on that's now CSR, you know, she wasn't real, you know, they don't be interested once they become CSRs. But because of the fact things are going and now they let you know you mean nothing either. You do not mean anything as well. So therefore, it'll cause you to know, okay, common sense or come in then. You got to do something. And doing something is when we do it together. And we stand together. You know, that's the thing. So it takes all of that and it takes us. And I am so glad that JC came along.
Yeah.
It makes a world of difference.
That's right. Happy Sunday.
I'm done.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, listen, we're at 90 minutes, so we try not to go over 90. The only problem, we got two really generous guests who have donated their Sundays. They're organizers from the International Workers of the World. I know your hands are up. Let me just, if you could say what you got to say in like 30 seconds, Tom, and then Kathy. Okay, I think I know what Tom said because he was like, "Can we get the guests on?" He sent me a chat. Kathy.
Okay, yeah, real fast. The ATU agreed to allow the CSA position to be created as a part-time position, a permanent part-time position, a standalone position. So they let a few people become full-time, but the majority of the CSA positions will always be part-time. And that's the goal of the CTA, more and more and more part-timers. So they lied to you, but they didn't lie to the people who voted to accept the contract. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding us the history and the truth. So here we go. Just wanted to share you real on the agenda here. There's a nice article that Sister Jan sent me about crime on the CTA and us and how it and you know, discuss this with coworkers. We have a link for the CTA budget. Check it out. I also have finally got some answers from the union office, thanks to Vice President Mark Weems. Also on the agenda is a link for that. Read his answers. They're pretty interesting. We have a candidate forum. We're trying again to try to replace all these sellouts with people who care. You don't have to be qualified. All you have to do is care, okay? And run for office. We have a local 241, local 308 merger poll. It's still open. Now we're working on plan B. It is suggested that we not record this part of the session. I'm going to pause it. And we're going to wrap up the meeting, but we got any final questions for Kate or Dante? And then Kate or Dante, I'd like you to wrap up a conclusion, knowing that there's people who weren't privileged to the private, to the non-recorded part, but that would benefit from what you have to say in the recording, okay? So anybody else want to say anything in the group? Okay, so Kate, Dante, go ahead and wrap it up for us. Make sure you unmute yourself.
Yeah, I guess the summary of it, I think this coalition here is doing great work, making the union accountable to union membership, focusing on action, direct action versus the more convoluted and ineffectual processes that have been taking place on your behalf by the union. And anything we can do to help y'all, we're here.
Thank you. Thank you. And Kate?
Yeah, I would echo that. it's a lot of powerful people in this room right now. And I can't say it enough. I'm really honored that y'all let us, be witness to this, or even just like help a little bit, because we'll be happy to assist you in whatever way that looks like to create a unionized workplace that addresses things that you want, right? Because you are the union, or at least that is how it is supposed to be. It's time to remind the people in charge of your union of that fact.
Agreed. And we got a lot of hashtag we are the union. You know, we put that out there in a lot of our posts and stuff. And the officers hate it. They're like, yeah, you work for us. Okay, everybody. I think that's it. We're gonna set our next meeting for the 19th, unless anyone objects. That's 2 weeks from today. Does anyone object in the group? Please speak. So I'll set that up and everything and get that out for everybody. Anyone else? At last chance, we're gonna shut this baby down. 2 hours. We did 2 hours. All right, Nicole.
I'm sorry, it's always a chance that I got to get off mute. But I want to thank our guests for coming. They were really helpful with some things that we have to think about. I just want to thank them for coming out and having a meeting with us. As the members of the Justice Coalition too, because it takes a lot of time. As Eric said, we're on the 2 hour mark. Sometimes these meetings get longer and longer, but I tell you, I miss, it's been a long time. I'm like with withdrawal from this. I need this to get through my work days at CTA. So I was kind of missing it, but it was a very good meeting as always. I thank everybody for attending.
Thank you. Willette, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to echo Nicole and say I really thank the guests. They were very interesting, and I thank them for coming and spending time with us. And a great meeting.
Yes, and everybody on the call, please help promote this protest. It's kind of last minute. I'll try to get printouts for you, but I can send you a link where you can download and print some flyers. If you could just post them in break rooms, locker rooms, non-work areas, hand them off to workers who are not in the work areas. We don't want you getting written up. We really need to get this out. I've been at Harlem Shop, Harlem Terminal. I've been going to visiting coworkers at stations on my way to work. Whatever y'all can do to get the word out. I didn't get Forest Park. I really wanted to get Forest Park. I just couldn't make it. So if anyone can do that, reach out to me, please. And let's try to arrange that. All right, everybody, that's it. Good night. Meeting is adjourned.
Good night.
Good night. See you soon.
You out of order, Eric. You out of order. Have a good week, guys.
Everybody be safe out there. Be safe. Good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Willette, I think you wanted to say something to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I can meet with you, I'll take care of Forest Park. We'll talk about that perhaps later on sometime.
Yeah, I got to get something to you then. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
No
Okay, see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.